Hello everybody, Storm here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Endwalker. In the last episode, we were continuing our investigation of the goings-on in Charlian. We hung out with Alice down at the Last Stand Cafe, trying to see if we could gather any information for the patrons there. Kind of was a dead end, though we did get a little bit of information about the Gleaners and that they were overworked and bringing large quantities of material into and out of Labyrinthos. So we decided to head into Labyrinthos and see what's going on. And so far, we've just been able to confirm. The Gleaners are busy, they're getting a lot of work done, though the interesting little tidbit is that the animals they're collecting are those that are hardy, can survive harsh environments, are easy to breed, and good for food. So this led to one of the gleaners that we met, Aaronville, to speculate that they might be moving, but we'll see. Otherwise, we're trying to get down to the lower level, and unfortunately, the elevator to do so is dedicated to the ongoing reorganization efforts, so we can't use it. Fortunately, Aaronville pointed us in the direction of a mine shaft that should get us down to the next level. So we're going to go ahead and utilize that. That's kind of where we're at. Now, one thing I did off screen is I went ahead and took care of all the side quests. So those are all done. And, we're going to move on to this mine shaft and see where that gets us. Also got to remember to do some fates in here too, so that I can unlock the riding map that will allow me to move faster on the ground. Alright, there's our group. Let's chat with everybody before we talk to Alphino. Cryle. I never would have noticed this cave of my own. Thank the scholar that Aaronville knew of it, and that you were there to persuade him to share. Indeed, Alice. I took a quick peek inside, but it's awfully dark in there. That shouldn't be a problem. And Y'shtola? The medial circuit, which Aaronville mentioned, is the tier directly below us. Unlike the lowest level of Labyrinthos, with its rigid security, one can usually roam the middle tier quite freely. Let us see what we might find. Alright, Alphino. This must be it, the entrance to the mine shaft. It is faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures are homed there by the researchers, you think? Well, slavering beasts aside, you will need to watch our footing. We will need to watch our footing. We should tighten our straps and such before we continue. Alright, so it gets us a new hat. I don't think that hat is as good as the hat that I currently have. No. So that one's going to go ahead and get saved for later. Alright. Okay, Alice? Assuming everyone's tightened their straps and checked their gear, then I say we head on in. Given the terrain ahead, though, it might be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it slow and don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We can meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. I don't think it's going to be that bad. Nah, not that bad at all. Oh, there's one thing I actually forgot to do here. Now that we're actually in an area that is outside of a city, I need to go into collection and put the ether compass on there because we're going to need that again. Although our actual quest objective is to the north. I mean, this is a rather steep incline, but not a problem. Destination, purple smoke. This is going to be a fight. A piece of cake. No issues. Let's see if we can avoid any unnecessary fighting. Ah. Alright, no issues there. We don't have any other ether currents in here, right? No. Or nowhere even close, so that's fine. Alpha, no. Everyone seems to have made it through without incident, nothing of consequence at least, and as promised, a tunnel has delivered us into the medial circuit. As I recall, this tier is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. If Aaronville's assumption holds true, that specimens are being collected in preparation for a great migration, then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Now let's follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. Well, let's talk to Y'shtola. That mine shaft was infested with mithril caps. Some sort of research project, I wonder? I suppose they are a most unusual creature. Why do they develop with such long limbs when all they do is shuffle about narrow tunnels? Cryle? I was being careful, I swear. The slope was steeper than I thought, and I lost my footing for a moment. That's all. I'm not injured, if you don't count my pride. Okay. Alice, Ayame, did you know Cryle almost took a tumble back there? She can't possibly be dizzy from the lift. Yes, she is a little distracted. Something's going on. Alright, so we'll head on over to this farming facility. Be there in a sec. Alright, here we are. Definitely does seem to be a small farming operation. Ah, now I know where we are. This is Muriel Agronomics. Muriel. Labyrinthos is host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods used in foreign lands. And it is this facility which coordinates and oversees those efforts. The fruits of their research go to feed their Labyrinthos colleagues, or so I hear. More notable successes might make it to the Agora. Food so exotic you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone know how they might taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. I see no gleaners hereabouts, yet these workers seem to share that same sense of urgency. It is possible they know something of the forum's plans and their underlying motivations. Worth looking into, wouldn't you say? It's worth a look. See what you can coax from the workers. The rest of us will do the same, or cast about for useful clues. Split up and search for clues. So what I got? Citrus of some description. Lemons, by the look of them. There could be other things. We got pumpkins, various varieties. Some sort of grain. A manioc. No two corners of the world cultivate the land in the same way. My research involves poring over the many texts gathered by the gleaners to produce something altogether greater than the sum of its parts. Okay. There's where we need to go. Monogia? Oh, it's not often you meet someone here who so obviously doesn't belong. Can I help you with something? Tell me about yourself. For now, at least, I am the second most important person in this facility. Now, you may think I'm shirking my duties, but even at this very moment, I'm envisioning how we can improve our methods. Gazing upon this watermill calms my heart and clears my mind of unnecessary thoughts, leaving room only for brilliant ideas. Even so, inspiration takes time, and today it seems to be slower in the coming than usual. Maybe you are just slacking off. We'll ask about this place. Muriel Agronomics is where the finest agricultural minds gather to research plant specimens from around the realm and the methods by which to cultivate them. The plants grown here are also used to feed the people working in Labyrinthos, straight from our fields to their tables, fresh as fresh can be. Farm to fork, as they say. Got some more grains of various varieties. A vineyard. Oh, here's actually someone we need to talk to. So let's go ahead and talk to them over here. Harried Harvester. What crops are we raising? Well, as you can see, this one is a variety of grape. Only needs a good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Highly surprising, given that it's native to a particular locale in the very place upon which Labyrinthos was modeled, a region in the south of Ilsebard. It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, allowing for myriad flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in the north give way to swells of temperate plains, which in turn transition into a hot, humid coastline. Such bountiful territory is ever contested, as you might expect. Used to be called Corvos before the Imperials renamed it to Locus Imernus. The Forum saw it not as a prize, however, but as a researcher's ideal environment. One whose climates we strove to recreate within the confines of Labyrinthos. It's since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments in cultivation. I believe this is the... Ooh, grabbed a top bar there. Okay. The second time I believe that we've heard reference to Corvos. That is where Graha hails from. Shonkie? Something like that. For many years, I have poured my energies in developing more bountiful crops. My life's goal is to produce a seed from which both a potato and tomato will grow. Ah, man can dream. Good luck with that. Ruba Apokan? Of course, the light of the artificial sun is not so brilliant as the real one. However, it allows us to grow crops without having to worry about inclement weather or changing seasons, making the results of experimentation much more consistent. Sounds good. And we have an overwhelmed laborer here. And do I have aught to be taken down below? More than I can carry, and then some. Most of our stock is sent off via the cargo lift, but some has been earmarked for aerial transport. Hence a stack of crates atop that hill over there. Gods, hauling the lot up that slope was a job and a half. Alright, yep, so it seems they're being worked pretty hard too. Alphino found anything? And you spent years researching these high-yield cultivation techniques? Okay. He's just, chatting up. Well, let's just go ahead and talk to Jebke here. Oh, hello there. We weren't expecting visitors, not with use of the lift being restricted. How did you make it down here, anyway? We climbed through a mine shaft. A mine shaft, you say? Well, you're a much hardier soul than I. Under normal circumstances, I reward such tenacity with a guided tour of the fields, but I'm afraid the Forum has us filling order lists a mile long. Massive yet detailed requests, literal wagon loads of crop samples, and hardly any time to put them together. When I first heard of this grand reorganization, I assumed we would be shuffling around old stock to make room for the new. Then came the orders for ridiculous quantities of seeds we've already thoroughly researched. Passing strange, eh? I pressed for an explanation and was met with vague assurances that all would be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. So, seeds you are already aware of how to cultivate and what their nutritional value may be. Oh, I didn't talk to Deloitte over here. The gourds we grow here are something of an agricultural wonder. We've crossbred varieties from all across the realm to create pumpkins that are sweet, sizable, and rich in nutrients. You're engaging in cross-pollination and... well, maybe not a full-on genetically modified crops, but, you know, getting there. Well, a field full of ripe vegetables being left to rot on the vine, not a single picker hard at work. Clearly, procuring readily available fresh food is not the Forum's priority. No, they seem to be more after seeds. Stuff that will be cultivated somewhere else. Now, we did hear about these boxes up the hill, and that's apparently what we need to go take a look at. Don't want to get in fight with a giant wasp. Alright, so here are the stacked boxes. The labels on these crates tell the story of their contents, bundles of common seeds and saplings accompanied by sheaves of reports. Flowers.
Hard to look away, isn't it? But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion. You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Charlian at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
All right, and thanks for the lesson on the strange flowers.
Have you learned aught of interest?
Not much, just that everybody's overworked, just like everybody else. Oh, and these weird flowers.
A flower that reacts to one's feelings? Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we've failed to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the Archaean? Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
It would appear so.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member? Or at least a close associate?
Possible.
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all...
Cryle?
Cryle?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
You weren't even
I'm
paying
glad you
attention.
agree.
Where are you?
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
Almost. I can almost reach you.
Oh? Alright. Alice? Let's get after him already. We've waited too long as it is. And Alphino. It feels wrong to spy on Erenville, helpful as he's been, but what other choice do we have? And Cryle, what's up? Forgive me, my attention has been elsewhere. We were following Erenville, weren't we? At least you got that much. Alright, Ristolda, what's the plan? Is Cryle still feeling unwell? I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We cannot let our quarry slip away. Alright then. Oop. I should not have jumped off of there. Alright, just a sec. Alright, back up here. Forgot to grab the next quest from Alice. Alright, Erenville was headed westwards along the path outside the Archaean. Come, we can still catch him. Alright, and everybody's running off. Okay, now we go. Alright, so, be back once we're over there. Alright, here we are. Alright, Alphino. It seems Justola wishes to have a word with us. So it would seem, Alice. We've fallen too far behind, and this damned mist won't help matters. Cryle. I can still hear it. Okay. I'll leave you to whatever it is you're doing. Alright, you're still Hold a moment. I have an idea. If memory serves, that colossal wall-like structure is Logisticon Beta, one of Labyrinthos' climate control centers. It should have its own lifts, with which one could access the upper or lower tiers. If I were an agent of the Forum, it would make for a convenient meeting place. But even if we happen to find Erenville in the company of said agent, we cannot expect them to reveal issues of importance as we nonchalantly stroll past. Nay, we shall have to remain undetected. If only Graha and his vanish spell were here. Oh, but there are other ways of turning invisible. What are you doing? Hippity hop, my little toads. Oh no. Goodness. Yes. Maybe a little warning next time? Unaccustomed to transfiguration, or not, it will wear off with the passage of time. I suggest you and your green companions hop along and catch up with Erenville. Should you feel the magic's fading, return to me and I will refresh the enchantment. And what am I to do in the meantime? Wait here with me. In your current state of mind, you'd be as likely to leap into the jaws of a predator as you would learn anything of note. Yeah, you're not exactly at top form right now. Which reminds me, where are the creatures hereabouts? In that form, you are essentially defenseless. You have changed into a toad. You must remain transfigured in order to progress with the quest objectives. You will return from your transfigured status if you move too far away. Look to your map for the transfiguration areas of effect. Speak with your soul to restore or prolong the transfiguration. Alright. Ribbit? Yeah, exactly. Alphino. Ribbit. Yes, Alpha Toad and Alatoad, right, are now accompanying you. Keep them at your side in order to proceed with the quest objectives. Yep. So this is the whole they follow me thing. Alright, let's go. Let's be careful of the larger creatures. Alright, well, here's a spot. Alpha Toad, discuss your surroundings. Ribbit. Alpha Toad attempts and fails to shake his head, but you nevertheless understand that he is telling you this is the wrong way. Alatoad? Ribbit? Alatoad turns to face north. Perhaps she is suggesting you cross the bridge? Up north, huh? Oh my. Okay. Ooh, there's a toad right on the path. Alright, there's where we need to be.
I trust you will find your compensation to be more than satisfactory. We wish to make clear that we are pleased with the efficiency and thoroughness of your work. So much so that we have come bearing new tasks in need of your competent hand.
Another lengthy list. If I may speak frankly, the Gleaners have been pushed to the point of collapse by your unending demands. We are not familiars to be exploited. We are Sharlayan scholars, and we deserve an explanation for this unseemly treatment. What warrants such urgency?
In an age long past, Sharlayan was charged with a momentous duty.
Oh?
And now that word of the final days hangs heavy in the air, the time has come for us to fulfill that charge.
So they do acknowledge the final days. Okay.
I can say no more, but I promise you this. All will be revealed in due course. And when it has, you will understand that your toil was in service to the greatest good.
Then I will do your bidding. For now. But unless you wish the Gleaners to rise up in protest, I advise you to offer tangible improvements for our working conditions. Your promised revelation does nothing to address present circumstances.
A fair point. Your concerns will be conveyed to the Forum.
A polite way of saying, shut up. He knows.
I hope that was informative. You may consider my debt to you repaid in full. While I do have my reservations about the Forum, I want to believe that they have our best interests at heart. Which is why I'm reassured that you're busy sniffing out the truth of things. We can ill afford to place all our eggs in one basket, this master plan of theirs, without first understanding the risks involved.
Wait! How did you know it was us?
If you mean to impersonate a toad, try studying the real thing. And don't try to fool an expert.
Well, it was kind of an impromptu thing, so we didn't have time to properly prepare. Alright, I say. Our toad performance needs work, apparently. I'll have to pay more attention next time I see one. Alphino, I suppose we should have known a gleaner who specializes in animal procurement would not be so easily deceived. Yeah, pretty much. Yet he seemed inclined to put his trust in us all the same. More importantly, perhaps, we discovered a new piece of the puzzle, this momentous duty the Forum agent mentioned. Sharlayan has been called to action, and the Telophoroi's declaration was the catalyst. Whatever charge it is they hope to fulfill, they deem it of sufficient import to disrupt all of Labyrinthos, not to mention ignore Eorzea's request for aid. Alright. A guide of sorts. What duty could warrant the direct involvement of the Forum and the commitment of all its resources? Judging by what we just heard, none of the Gleaners were offered any kind of explanation. At this point, it seems abundantly clear that we'll learn nothing new by pressing them further. We should head back to Y'shtola and Krile for the moment to see what they think of this. Alright. So... we have side quests. Let's head back to Y'shtola and, right, I can't fly. Speaking of can't fly, is there anything close? Something to the southwest. Just a moment. Alright, well, that ether current is actually on the upper level, so I can't get to it from here, so, never mind. Just head back to Eorzea and, push the quest along. Alright, well, I'll be back once we're there. Alright, there they are. How they say? It's funny how normal the forest seems now. As a toad, it was all so much more ominous and threatening. And Alphino, where's Cryle? Yeah, where is Cryle? Welcome back. I trust you found Erenville then? Indeed, we did. Interesting. I had a feeling you would learn something important, even if that something was simply confirmation that no one knows much of anything. We should share this with Cryle, then discuss how we'd like to proceed. Assuming we find her back at the farm, she was still behaving oddly, so I bade her return and rest there. Perhaps not the best decision in hindsight. Would you mind checking near those flowers she was so entranced by? The rest of us can survey the more distant areas, just in case she decided to wander. Alright then. Well, I need to go, find Cryle. A large search area, but yeah, we'll head to those flowers first. But I think this is going to be a good spot to go ahead and end the episode, because we got some side quests to do. I'll take care of those, and then we'll catch up with Cryle and see what's going on. Alright, but for now, we'll stop here. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.